Hello, everyone. I'm Fred Oakman here with Mr. Jake Peters. You're listening to PS This Is Awesome, a PlayStation podcast. This is episode 381, where we dive into our thoughts on all things PlayStation. Before we jump in, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PS This Is Awesome, where you can also watch these videos. If you'd like to watch the podcast, do that there. And you can also check out the trophy list on the PSN. I'm Anchorlist_81, and Jake is JakeSaw01. Send your thoughts to psthisisawesome@gmail.com. That's right, we have a Gmail account. Share the show with friends. Don't forget to rate us. And this podcast airs for free every Wednesday on your preferred streaming platforms. But for those who sign up to our Patreon for just $1, you can join the one and only $1 club and get a free die-cut vinyl sticker in the mail and a shout-out on our show. Most times, you also get the show a day or two early each week. Visit patreon.com/PS This Is Awesome to support us. Remember, if you like our podcast, it does us a lot of good if you can like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. With that out of the way, Jake, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, I'd say, all things considered. It's a kind of a crappy day out.
Yeah.
But it's a Monday, which is always kind of a thing, but had a pretty decent weekend. We had a kind of pretty fun show on Saturday or on Friday. I have to admit, it's way nicer to just fucking show up and plug into someone else's shit and play like a half-hour fucking banger set that's like for people that are there to listen to music. Yeah. Rather than just like doing all this extra work to play at a bar or whatever, where no one gives a shit about you. But it was a good time. We were a little bit, I don't want to say we were out of place because there was like a few different kind of styles of music there, but everything else sort of slanted towards the rock and roll genre, and we're a little bit more acoustic, but I thought we played pretty good, and I thought it sounded pretty good, and it seemed like people, at least after the show, people came up and said that they really liked us. Yeah. So that was kind of cool. Saturday was, I don't even fucking remember Saturday. I think, Saturday I did it was nice out Saturday. So I did a lot of shit outside, pool stuff, borrowed my dad's pressure washer so I could pressure wash my pool cover and get it put away. Yep. Dude, I really want to buy a gas pressure washer, but they're so fucking expensive. Yeah. It's like the cheapest one you can buy that's a gas powered one is like $300 to $400. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know. I need one like literally exactly twice a year. And so my dad's like, just borrow mine whenever you want it. So I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll do that. And then yesterday I had this big freaking pile of brush at my house. And I've been waiting forever since last year to burn it. And yesterday it was like there was very little wind and it was like a light drizzle. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I went out, lit that bitch up, and it was a doozy. I mean, this burn pile was probably 20 feet in diameter. Yeah. And like 10 feet tall. And dude, it's surprising, like, I've had bonfires like exactly twice in the 8 years that I've lived here, and both of them have been huge. And I'm always surprised by how fast shit burns. Oh yeah. Like I said, this pile was enormous, and it was probably 75% burned up within a half hour. Mm-hmm. And so you have to imagine what fire can do to like your house. Oh yeah. If your house ever catches on fire, because like most of the shit in your house does not want to burn. So like it's pretty crazy. But Yeah, so that was kind of a fun time yesterday doing that. But other than that, just kind of keeping it real, keeping busy.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Yeah, Friday was fun. I concur. That was good. I didn't love the way it sounded on stage, but I think it sounded fine for everybody, you know?
Yeah, my only real complaint, I know Nate said he really couldn't hear very well, he couldn't hear the bass at all, he said. My biggest complaint was just where I was standing. I could hear everybody pretty well, but Nate, for whatever reason, if it was just the shape of the stage or what have you, was just, especially the cymbals on the left side were just ear piercing for me. But yeah, I think it probably sounded good out front, because I know when we played, or when the other bands were playing, I know when I stood out, like, especially if you got away from the stage a little, like out by the cars, it sounded really good. The mix sounded really good out there. So
they did a nice job. That was fun. Saturday,
especially being in the fucking woods.
Yeah. Saturday I played another show. I was out at the Davenport Cidery. That turned out pretty good. Played a solo show that night, and then Sunday I woke up. Well, I'll take it back. Saturday night, I got a hold of my buddy Tyler, because he's a tour bus driver for bands, and he was driving the Menzingers around again. I don't know if you guys have heard of them or not, but he was driving them around on tour, and they're on tour with Lucero, and he was like, last stop on tour before I get to take a break, you know. And I wrote him, like, dude, I wanted to come out so bad. I wrote him Saturday night, I said, I want to come out so bad, but it's a Sunday and it's a work night. I just don't think I can justify it, you know. And then I woke up Sunday morning, and he had sent a picture of him hanging out with the Menzingers and Lucero guys, just from like at a bar or something at 1:30 in the morning. And he goes, dude, you're on the guest list. He's like, you need to come out. Got your VIP seating, which is like the balcony. And I'm like, fuck, I can't like not go now. You know what I mean? And but he was even like, dude, don't even feel obligated to come out. He goes, I get it, it's work night. But it's like over $50 a ticket for that tour. And he gave me a +1, and I'm just like, I'm going to fucking go, you know? So I told him, I said, dude, I would love to hear Lucero play Watch It Burn. And then he goes, yeah, I'll ask him. Sorry, all that happened Saturday night. I said, I'd love to go. I said, I'm not going to go to work night. And the only way I'd really probably come out is if Lucero played Watch It Burn, which is a song off the record, Nobody's Darling. It's like the first track. And I woke up to him saying, I got you VIP guest list seating. Talk to Ben. They're going to play Watch It Burn second. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to go. Like, I've seen Lucero like 5 times. I've never heard him play that song live. It's like one of my favorite songs. So I get there, and on the drive there, Tyler wrote, and he goes, dude, we were all pretty tuned up last night. He goes, I don't know if he's going to remember to play it, just an FYI. And I was like, okay. He goes, I'll try to remind him if I see him. So they didn't end up playing the song, and I was so fucking bummed, because it's such a good ripper. And they were even, because they're touring with it, the Lucero's like more of an alt country band now. They used to be rock and roll. Like, they are still a rock band, don't get me wrong, but they're not upbeat like the Menzingers. So when they opened, well, there was an opener, and then Lucero and the Menzingers headlined. Menzingers being a Pennsylvania band from the Scranton area. But they played, and he opened, and he was just like, listen, the 2 or 3 songs in, he goes, listen, we're trying to play all our fast ones because, we're just trying to bring the heat like they do, and he goes, we've kind of slowed down our old age, but we're digging deep into the Lucero history books here. And I'm like, dude, Watch It Burn would have been the perfect song for that tour. Damn. But no, I didn't get to see it. And then Sunday, that was Sunday, but Sunday prior to going to the Lucero show, I had already had a Hero Quest board game day planned at 1, so we did that, and I just left everything set up and just left as soon as the quest was over. We got one more quest left on Rise of the Ogre Horde, or Rise of the Ogre Horde, I think. Against the Ogre Horde, sorry, is what it is. Sorry, I'm still so tired. But, so that's cool. That's pretty much it, man. I got a show this weekend coming up at the Lake Resort solo show, and June's a busy month for me. But yeah, just been working a lot, and got a little bit of gaming in, which I guess we'll just curtail right into that. Yeah, I don't think I had any other cool stories to bring up. Nothing of note really, and we've got quite a bit to talk about. So. As far as games we're playing, I purchased the Alan Wake 2 DLC. I had a $5 credit for the PlayStation Stars, and this was like $20, so it was like $15, and then $17 with tax or whatever. But I figured I really wanted to play this DLC before it just slipped by me, and I figured it would be a nice palate cleanser from Octopath 2, a nice little segue between Death Stranding and an RPG or whatever. So I picked it up. There's 2 DLCs with the Alan Wake DLC pack. The first DLC is called Night Springs. You do not play Alan Wake, but in the game there are these Twilight Zone TV episodes that just play in the background. And the first DLC pack, and the only way to get the DLC is to upgrade your version of Alan Wake 2 for $20. I don't think there's a way to get it outside of that. I looked. If there is, I didn't find it. But it includes both.
So wait. Can you say that again? You have to buy the whole thing, the season pass, or whatever.
You have to upgrade to the deluxe version of Alan Wake 2 to get the DLC.
You can't just buy the upgrade.
I couldn't find
DLC.
I couldn't find it, and it's probably the same price. It's probably like $10 a piece or something.
Probably.
But the first DLC is called Night Springs, and there's 3 mini levels. They're really good. They're fun. They're kind of bonkers a little bit. Like, they're kind of funny. They lean into the Twilight Zone thing. You know, I can't remember the first one. The second one, you play a character who's lost. They repurpose some of the levels, but they give a different narrative, and it's narrated by the host of the Night Springs Twilight Zone TV show. And each level opens up with like, have you ever thought about that perhaps no matter what path you choose, you always end up at the same place? And he goes, well, that seems to be the case in Night Springs. And then then you're like a character, right? I think the first one, you're the waitress from the diner, and you're going to save your. It's about like having like being a fanatic of somebody, and she's Alan Wake's biggest fan, and she's in the diner, and you play her, and there's a calling. You get a calling that you have to go save your idol who's in peril, and then you go out through the docks and stuff, and like you're just the waitress, and you have these fucking shotgun, and you're shooting bad guys and stuff. It's kind of fun. So it's kind of campy and fun. So Night Springs DLC is kind of cool. There's 3 levels. They're all relatively short too. You can get through the first DLC thing probably in like 2 hours. Like they're really short, but they're cute, and they put a lot of time into them. Maybe 3 hours. And then the second DLC pack I'm in right now, it's called the Lakehouse. And the Lakehouse is interesting because it's you are the person from Control, I believe. The agent from Control. You guys know that I was kind of sour on Control, but I do enjoy what I'm doing so far. There's apparently like a quarantined Lakehouse that something has happened, and she rolls up to it with some Bureau of Control agents, and there's some sort of alternate reality event happening, Ultimate World Event, or AWE incursion, or something happening at the Lakehouse, and you find out they're doing an experiment on a painter, and the painter can either predict the future with his paintings or can create the future, and things have gone sideways at the Lakehouse, and now you go inside, and right now I'm trying to find these key cards to get to the 5th level down, to get to figure out what happened and stop this world event. So it's actually pretty sweet, man, and it's It's very digestible, and it's the Lakehouse is kind of confusing right now. I'm having trouble finding the second key card. I got the first one, no problem. The second one, I've been on like a bunch of different levels, and you know how Alan Wake does that thing where there's like sometimes you end up in the same place, but there's something that's slightly different, and it's like, oh, this is a version of the room I was just in. So I don't know if I just passed it or if I'm not. And they give you the liberty to go to the different floors that your key card permits in the elevator. So I'm not sure what floor I need to be on to find this key card. I'm gonna Google it and get the key card tonight. Hopefully, if it's not too late by the time we're done with this podcast. But I want to at least get hands on the second key card, because I think with it there's a gun that will allow you to take out this new enemy type, because right now I just have to run from them. So it's interesting. It's good though. So the Alan Wake DLC is good, and I did get into the Lakehouse. It's good, and that's all I've been playing. And what about you, Jake?
So I finally beat what the hell was I playing? Expedition 33. And it's really good. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit let down. Not that it was bad. It wasn't bad. It was actually great. But I was a little bit let down by the way that they the way the story ended up. But I will say that this game is, for all intents and purposes, I hesitate to use the term masterpiece, but it is a great game, especially in this genre.
Yeah.
I love the idea of a story, very narrative, cinematic, like JRPG style game, but it doesn't dominate your life. It's only, yes, 30. It took me, I think, 38 hours to beat it. That does sound like a long time, but compared to like Persona 5, which took 120 some hours the first time I played it, 38 hours is not that long, and has arguably the best combat of almost any JRPG style game I've ever played before.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty rad, and it suffers from like two very major things. One, that there's no, and we've talked about it before, there's no map in these like little dungeon areas, so you're kind of like stuck, kind of wandering around sometimes. And then two, there's no like quest log. So Sarah is actually playing it herself right now because she's really intrigued by the story, and because it's a turn-based game, it's something that's a little bit easier for her to kind of wrap her head around. It's not too action focused. And we were just talking about before the podcast that like she's like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. And I'm like as far as like narratively. And it's like, oh, because you can't like hit the start menu and it's like, go to the such and such to accomplish the doodle blooble. And it's like, okay, well, it would be nice. Now, when you're at the campfire, if you're like in the open world and you go back to camp and you look at the campfire, it can be like, remind me of my current objective. But it's like, you should be able to access that information whenever you want.
Right, yeah.
Not just, like, I shouldn't have to, like, exit to the world map and then go to the campfire and in the whatever, you know what I mean? So that's a little bit frustrating. But all in all, the game is wonderful.
Sweet.
The game has, I know there's at least 2 endings. I don't know if there's more than 2. But there's a choice, there's an either or choice you make at the end of the game. And I am curious what the other choice was, opposite of what I made. I didn't look it up. I meant to look it up today because I was curious, but I didn't end up looking it up because I was too busy at work. But really enjoyed it. But I'm glad to be done with it. I left a lot of stuff in that game. I would say that probably half of the game is optional.
Yeah.
Like, there's tons of open world shit that, like, I just didn't do because I wanted to see the story. And I think the side stuff, actually, there's a lot of narrative in that, too. But I just, like, I wanted to move on to some other stuff. I have other games I want to play. There's other stuff coming out. And so I might go back to it at some point, but as of right now, I'm shelving it. And so I actually jumped into Doom: The Dark Ages. And I played the first kind of opening level of the game. And it's a bit different. It is definitely different. I mean, it's quick and slow at the same time because like Doom games don't, it's frenetic, but as far as your movement speed goes, usually it's like all run all the time.
Yeah.
But this game actually has a sprint button. So you can either like be moving fast or moving really fast. And there's a lot of stuff going on that you kind of have to get used to as far as like there's like this parry mechanic, which sounds maybe a little bit daunting in first person shooter, but it's super forgiving. Like you don't have to wait till it's like right on top of you. Like as soon as you see it, you can basically hit the button and it'll parry the attack back at them, and then you can go do kind of your thing. But I'm enjoying it so far. There've been a handful of cutscenes kind of setting things up at the beginning, and I'm not really loving the narrative kind of cutscene part of it, but the actual gameplay part it feels very much Doom, at least so far. But like I said, I've only played it for like 45 minutes, just like the opening half hour, 45 minutes, the opening kind of section. So I'll have more to report on that next week, I suppose.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I love that you planned a new game, and I'm going to put that in the notes here so that I can that's Doom: The Dark Ages. Yeah, all right. That way I remember when I write up the podcast summary, I can make sure I address this stuff. Well, for today's episode, we've had 3 showcases, man, since the last episode. And
there's a lot of shit, so we could just probably kind of rip through it.
Yeah.
And kind of focus on a few games that we really liked. But
I took
there's a lot.
I've got a lot of notes here. There's so much to talk about. I even considered like just covering one of the showcases on each of the next 3 podcasts. But like, I think what we can do is just kind of touch on the stuff from the Summer Games Fest and the PlayStation State of Play, and then briefly touch on what they showed at the Xbox showcase. The PlayStation stuff that was featured. So I'll get into it, and then we can just give our opinions on some of the things that were shown at Summer Games Fest, and we'll just do some points here, talking points, and then we'll go into, like I said, the Xbox Game Showcase, and then we'll do the State of Play that PS5 Sony had. We're not going to touch on any other news this episode. This podcast will be too long. And I do think the listeners appreciate us keeping it right to around an hour an episode so it's digestible. And that's kind of been our niche. But so, there were some big names and some prizes at the Summer Games Fest. And I guess the question is, after we go over these games, are people more excited on the new IPs? Or was it like the sequels and the familiar names that people were probably more excited about? Meaning you and I, and we'll come to that conclusion when we wrap up talking about the Summer Games Fest. And the big one, we're going to start with the big one. I think this is the big one for Summer Games Fest, is that we got the new Resident Evil. A look at that. It's called Requiem. And it looks good. The question is, does revisiting the iconic locale bring fresh fear or fatigue, Jake? Did the bait and switch work? So Capcom, what they did is they said they had a non-Resident Evil announcement, but then they revealed Requiem. So like, it's interesting. So the thing is, they're going back to what appears to be Raccoon City, and they are going to be using the RE engine and ray tracing. So would you have preferred to have seen them do something less familiar with a new locale, or are you just fine with them going back to Raccoon City for this one?
I'm not opposed to Raccoon City, but the one thing that, and I didn't have time to dig into this, but the main character I guess we're assuming the main character, the lady in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Ethan's daughter, right? From Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, I don't.
That's somebody new.
Right.
I don't remember her name because I think her name was Rose, right?
Yeah, it was Rose. Yeah.
And this new person's something else. Has her own trauma. It sounds like.
Yeah. So this is it's the speculation is that this is going to be a post-nuclear Raccoon City, and it looks like the return of a character named Lisa Trevor. And then people are pretty excited about the prospect of prior Resident Evil characters like Leon or maybe Chris coming back, and the lore being linked to Alyssa Ashcroft to add some mystery to it.
Oh, so. Ashcroft was the guy that started Umbrella, right?
Yeah.
The old guy.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no, when I saw this, I was like, oh, it looks like they're going to do a new story. They're going to start a new arc. Because they did, 7 and 8 followed Ethan. I don't know if he had a last name, but it was his arc. But the way they ended 8 Village, it almost seemed like they were going to continue it with his daughter.
Right.
Rose.
Well, there was DLC for Rose.
Well, there was DLC where you played as her and blah, blah, blah. But, I thought maybe that she would have her own thing. And they kind of, not that they won't touch back on that with this game, but they were introducing some, supernatural shit with her that I wasn't really all that sure about.
Yeah.
But this game, the trailer was great. Right. And I did like that it was, Raccoon City, and you could tell it was, the ruins or the demolished remains of the Raccoon City Police Department building.
Yeah.
And so I'm definitely interested in this. The one thing that I am curious about, though, is that I think they did say something along the lines of, this is going to be a departure from what we've been getting, and that they would have more to talk about it in the future. And I wonder what that means, because I've been actually really enjoying the first-person Resident Evil stuff in 7 and 8. Mm-hmm. So is it going to go back to third person? Is it going to be some new shtick with this game?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not really sure, but dude, I've basically loved every single Resident Evil release since, I don't know.
They've been knocking it out with this series.
I don't know. Especially since Resident Evil 2 Remake. Probably starting there and going forward, they've all been great. Yeah. So, I'm all down. I'm down with this.
The FBI agent in the trailer is Grace Ashcroft, and we're thinking that she is somehow tied to Alyssa, which was in Outbreak. So, I guess, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There's something about her having to return to a haunted hotel. So, that maybe...
Yeah, and there's a freaky thing where she's strapped into something upside down.
Yeah, it's cool as shit. Yeah, anyways, I'm excited for this. I thought this was a hit, and I think that I'm pretty excited about that. There was another game that was shown. This just came out of nowhere called Ill, I-L-L. This is kind of, they're calling it a body horror game. It's got some weird visuals. It's got physics-driven gore. There's some concerns maybe that this is just a tech demo and it's not going to be necessarily representative of the final game. But I don't know. It looks like the environment's pretty interactive. There's, like I said, the arms, and there's torsos flying everywhere. The bodies are wet and meaty and just kind of gross. Dude,
this game looks freaky as fuck.
Yeah, it looks really messed up.
Of all of the games that we've seen, because there were a few kind of horror titles, this one looks the most gross and kind of freaky. How you're the bad guys are getting dismembered, and it's so... I could see why people think that the whole thing looks kind of just
too good to be true or something.
just like a trailer, like a CG kind of trailer rather than an actual gameplay.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. If it's anything representative of what we saw, this is gonna be a freakalicious game, I think.
Yeah,
in a good way.
Yeah,
Looks cool as shit.
There was an interview with Team Clout, the co-founder, is the team behind this. His name's Maxim Varahin, and he said that the goal was a good effing horror game. So they're just trying to make a fucking scary ass game, dude. So,
and this is Mundfish, who is also behind Atomic Heart, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, because it's Mundfish Powerhouse, whereas I don't know if that's the same studio, same group is doing Atomic Heart. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I thought maybe it was like another like Blumhouse or like one of these other horror studios, but it's Mundfish, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. And I think what they did, which is kind of an interesting thing, is they were, I don't know, they were necessarily scraping TikTok horror videos and stuff, but they found a lot of trends on TikTok that were getting a lot of traction with scary shit people were posting, and they leaned into that to kind of
That's kind of cool
into like the modern fear that like kids have and people have right now, which is kind of smart actually for character design, enemy design, if you're trying to scare people.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone's gonna steal your data anyway, you might as well leverage it to make something fucking cool.
Yeah, I think it looks dope, and a lot of people who watched the Summer Games Fest said that this was like one of their top picks of what was shown. So with those two out of the way, let's get into some other stuff here. Let me see where my notes are. Atomic Heart 2. And then in parentheses, and the cube. So this is, we know Atomic Heart, the first one. Jake, you played it. I didn't play it. But apparently, you know, the original had mixed reviews. It was kind of jank. So there was mixed excitement about this announcement, just based off of what we got from the original. But the new game's going to have an RPG system built into it, and it's also going to be open world. It's going to be using Unreal Engine 5. And apparently the Cube, they're calling it the Cube. It's multiplayer Atomic Heart, I guess. I'm not sure what it is. But my question is, Jake, having played Atomic Heart, do you think that an open world format will deepen or dilute the second game?
I'm the type of person that I'm at a point in my life where I don't think open world helps almost any game, unless it's like that's like the point of the game. Like if it's a narrative game, I don't know how often the open world actually helps a narrative.
Yeah.
But if it's just like a Far Cry, like let's just run around and fucking be crazy in this world, then yeah, an open world could be kind of interesting. I actually enjoyed what I played of Atomic Heart, but I never, like I played like the first few hours of it and then I just never went back to it because I don't know if I just had other stuff going on or what, but this the trailer for both of these games, both of them looked really cool. And although to be fair, the original trailers for the first Atomic Heart looked fucking amazing too. Right. But the one thing that sticks in my brain about the Atomic Heart 2 trailer is not that the game looks great and I'm excited for it, but I don't know if I'm being irrational here, but I feel like that Queen song, Don't Stop Me Now, has been way overused in like trailers and promotional material across like movies and fucking video games and like all this shit. So like as soon as I wish that they had picked something a little bit more unique, because it immediately ties it to like, now I'm thinking about things like Guardians of the Galaxy and shit like that, because this fucking song has been used in so much shit. So I get like the sentiment that they were going for with the trailer, but they probably could have achieved that with a different song over top of it, and also not had to pay licensing fees for it, maybe. But other than that, I mean, I enjoyed what I saw. The cube thing was really interesting. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but and I don't know what that game is gonna look like, but it visually, I mean, just like Atomic Heart 2, visually very impressive from an art perspective. Although I will say, like, the one last thing I'll say, and then we can move on, is that there were a lot of games talked about this year between these 3 showcases that are very clearly BioShock inspired.
Oh yeah.
And it seems like it's becoming more of a theme. And not that that's a problem. I love it, but it's some of these things are starting to kind of blend together in my brain. So hopefully that doesn't become an issue, but that's just something that I've kind of noticed.
No, and to be clear, the Cube is a whole separate game. It's a MMO, massive online multiplayer game set in the Atomic Heart world. Just so the listeners understand that. Moving in, the next one, Stranger Than Heaven. This is the studio that makes Yakuza, and it's a 1940s detective story. There's a ton of hype up on Reddit about this game. It appears to be a slower paced game than Yakuza, and the question is, are fans of Yakuza going to find something in this title? It seems like they're excited for it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be for them. You know, I know the folks over, it seemed like the Easy Allies podcast really thought it was good. Just a lot of positivity about this game coming out of nowhere. What did you think about Stranger Than Heaven?
Cool. It seems more similar to like the original Yakuza games as opposed to like the more tactics style games that they're putting out now. Mm-hmm. I love the idea of like, it seems like it's almost like a detective kind of story. And 1940s Japan is like a really interesting sort of set piece because, you know, as we know, that was like during World War II. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder if they'll leverage that timepiece at all in their narrative. But yeah, I think this game looks cool. I need to see more before I decide if I'm going to play it or not, but it's definitely on my radar for sure.
Yeah, it's set in like 1943. So at least I think that's what it said it was set in. It looks interesting. The visual art style is kind of cool. It's like it's realistic, but it's the Yakuza visual art style. It's kind of artsy. Like, it looks like a comic, but it's more detailed than you know what I'm saying? Like, how would you describe this art style? Like, it's realistic, but they're not going for like,
it's stylish.
Yeah, it's kind of styled. I like the way it looks. And being that I've never played a Yakuza game, I kind of think that maybe if this title somehow gets sequels and sequels and sequels, this might be a good starting point to get into some stuff that I haven't really experienced. So I think it looks cool. All right. Next one, Jake. Code Vein 2. I am right. Yep. This is the sequel to Code Vein. It will not be coming to Switch 2 from the looks of it, and people are pretty excited for this. There's a rewind gameplay mechanic, and the curiosity will be if they can implement it correctly so that it serves the game and is less of a gimmick. I've never played any of these Code Vein or anything like that, so I'm not super knowledgeable about this, so I don't have an opinion.
Yeah, my understanding, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but my understanding was that it was like an anime style Souls like kind of game.
Okay.
And so people might be interested in a rewind mechanic from like a sort of like a way to kind of get good at the game. If you can kind of redo sections to kind of make your like learn the game and stuff. But I don't know. I don't have much to say about this. I've heard that, I know that the original Code Vein was like a cult classic, but it's never a game that I played.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I love the art style of these kinds of things. I mean, it's very what you'd expect you know. But I just, it's something timeless and classic about it. I just think it looks cool. But I don't think it's a game I will ever play. Let's move on to the next ones. We have a ton to talk about. Lies of P is getting DLC called Overture. They shadow dropped this. It's available now for $30. Some people were complaining about the price tag. I've not played Lies of P. It's probably one of the more interesting looking Souls style games, if I'm being honest. But I don't really care about this at all.
I'm actually interested in this because I think we talked about it last week, how they're introducing difficulty settings for it. Maybe we were talking about that. Maybe, I don't remember. Which you can actually tune it down a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I'm very interested in like the world and kind of everything that's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So am I going to buy the game and then pay $30 for this fucking DLC just so I can play it? No, but when this drops in price, I could definitely see myself maybe picking it up, especially with the ability to kind of turn the difficulty down a little bit and just sort of experience the game. And you know, obviously I understand that I'm not getting the tried and true experience by playing it a little bit easier. And obviously I'll try it on the original difficulty first. But if I get to a part where it's like, this is fucking impossible, I've got more shit to do, drop it down and just kind of experience the story. I'm interested in that because it is a very unique narrative perspective. You're talking about like a really grim, dark, like Pinocchio kind of adventure. Like it's pretty rad, and I'd like to experience that, but I don't want to be gatekept necessarily by the gameplay. So I don't know. I'm interested, but not right now.
Yeah, very good. Next up, IOI, Hitman 007 First Light. This is DLC, apparently. Is that right? Is this DLC?
No, this is a new game.
Are you certain this is a new game?
Yes.
All right, because I thought it was a new game also, but something I read somewhere said something about it being DLC, so it confused me. That it was just a single, like a mission, like they announced like a one-off that you could download to like prior to First Light. But I guess maybe there isn't a DLC. I don't know. It doesn't matter. What I love about it is there's a Hero Quest First Light, so I love that. Has nothing to do with it.
So there's First Light is also the standalone DLC for Infamous Second Son, where you play as the girl, the chick that does the neon powers.
Yeah, it's a very much overused title for something, but people on Reddit liked it. They liked the idea of it, saying stuff like there's no better company to do a James Bond themed game than IOI because Hitman, with those areas that they make and stuff are really good. A PC Gamer, from what I understand, they also agree. They say, a culmination of all the Hitman work that they've dumped in, this is going to be the ultimate spy fantasy. I don't know. How that big sandbox that IOA does with Hitman, IOI is going to meld with a Bond game and the expectations of it being cinematic, because that's really what makes James Bond fucking cool, is the storytelling. How that's going to work. I think some of the later Hitman games did offer more story-driven content, like through cinematics and stuff, but I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of curious to see what they do with this and how this game's received,
Yeah, I think that people need to pump the brakes a little bit on the IOI is going to make a perfect a perfect 007 game because they made Hitman.
Right.
Because Hitman is not James Bond.
No, it's very much different.
James Bond is way more narrative focused. You've got to write a charismatic character. There's going to be romance stuff. There's so much more to James Bond as a narrative
just assassinating
character
somebody.
than freaking Agent 47, who doesn't even have a name.
Right.
So I think that people need to pump the brakes on that. But that said, I do think the trailer was really good, and I am definitely interested in playing this game. I haven't played a James Bond game in a very, very, very long time. So I am curious about how they're going to do an origin story for James Bond that's completely new and unique.
Yeah, it's interesting because they talk about the game on the IOI website, and they say it's a thrilling narrative action adventure game by IO Interactive. So, hard to say, really, how they're going to pull this off. I'm not doubting them, but I say, like you, Jake, let's pump the brakes a little bit on this and let's see if they can deliver. So, all right, Street Fighter 6, just a quick roster update. Third year of Street Fighter 6, the 30-year anniversary. A lot of people were stoked about these characters, and I cannot believe that some of these characters have not been introduced yet, including Sagat. Like, how is Sagat not in Street Fighter 6 yet? Then there's a character I don't know, Sea Viper. I'm guessing Alex probably looks a lot like Alex from Final Fight. I don't know if it's supposed to be the same guy or not. And then there's some sort of meme character named Ingrid. Now, the one thing about this reveal that was interesting is that they revealed this with people dressed like cosplay people, cosplaying like these characters. I wonder how that came across. But yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't really care. I do like these fighting games. I wish I were more invested in them than I am. I do love to play them, but I would just, like you, Jake, I think you've said that a couple of times, you would just get your ass kicked if you really got into these games,
Yeah.
But anyways, let's move forward a little bit. I think Mixtape is the next one we have on here. Mixtape was kind of cool. It felt a lot like, it reminded me a lot of what they're trying to do with Bloomin' Rage, which I haven't played the second part of that, but this was a reveal. It's a coming-of-age PS5 narrative. There's a curated soundtrack to it. It has like a lot of nostalgia vibes, and I don't know that. It just looks like an indie game. It looks cool. We'll see how if it hits people the right way, and the art style is really cool on this. I like the art style. I thought it was neat looking.
Dude, I will say, though, that so many of these games are just kind of fucking mashing together now.
Yeah.
It's like you've got Bloomin' Rage and Mixtape and the new Life is Strange game and Goodbye Volcano High and fucking that one about the band that, like, was a real band or something from California, whatever the
Wasn't
fuck
that Goodbye
that
Volcano
one was
High?
called. No, it was something else.
That just proves your point, then.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
That's fine.
But
yeah,
it's like I don't know. It's these types of games. I feel like they're chasing like the first Life is Strange almost with these kinds of games, or like the first Walking Dead season. And I think that rather than doing that, because remember in Life is Strange they had the fucking mixtapes that you would find, and it was like you could find all these mixtapes and you could play the music and listen to it and have these chill sessions and everything. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I think about whenever I see this game and look at this title is Life is Strange. Yeah. Now maybe they did that on purpose, but I don't know. This is definitely kind of a wait and see thing for me though, because how can you even know with so much of this stuff out there now?
Yeah. Well, the next one was from the Guacamelee team, which is a great game. People really like Guacamelee. It's called Blighted, Blightted. This was a reveal. It's like a psychedelic Western Metroidvania game. It's kind of been described as a challenge game, some sort of Western nightmare that's kind of, psychotropic or something. But I guess the question is on this one, there's do we need more Metrovania games? I don't know. Or should we just
let me say,
stick to side scrollers, like
yeah,
Guacamelee?
I know it seems like Guacamelee was a Metroidvania.
Oh,
But,
sorry. But you know what I'm saying.
So
can it just be a side scroller?
This is like an isometric game, which is kind of interesting. Like, got little RPG elements. But the one thing I will say is, even if Blighted is a take on a genre that's become a little trite recently, Drinkbox does not make bad games ever.
Right.
They've never made a bad game. The first game of theirs I played was Tales from Space Mutant Blobs Attack on the Vita, and that game was fucking good. And then Guacamelee was fucking awesome. Guacamelee 2 was awesome. Nobody Saves the World was awesome. And now they're releasing this game. So I have no doubt that this game is going to be amazing. But I get what you're saying about, like, the, everything's got to have Metroidvania elements now and yada yada. So, but yeah, I'll keep an eye out for this one, I think.
Yeah. What was the game that I played? They had like all the different doors you had to find. It looked like this, like the isometrical view that was like a little more dreary looking. It was like a really big game.
Was it the bird one?
Yeah.
Where you were playing as the crow?
Yeah, what was that game?
Oh. At Death's Door?
Death's Door, I think is what it was. Great fucking memory.
Yeah.
Kind of has that vibe except full color. The way it looks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the art style, I guess, mainly. Next game, End of Abyss. This was from some of the makers of Little Nightmare. I can't remember what exact studio made this. Is it the actual... I think it's just former Little Nightmare developers, which is why it has such a vibe. But it's kind of an atmospheric teaser we got from them. And, a lot of people were being like, well, yeah, this looks a lot like Little Nightmares. I like Little Nightmares. I've played them all.
But it's like a twin stick shooter, which is really
different,
kind of interesting. I think it looks cool, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I think so too. Yeah, I'm not dogging on them. I think it looks cool, man. But it's got that eerie kind of haunting kind of fucking vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool. It's cool looking. With like the weird animals, like the enemies that look like the Thing from Addams Family that like attack you and shit. It looks rad in that regard. Like the enemies, I think more are Little Nightmares oriented, and the fact that the main character has like a yellow fucking jacket on. Look, that's clearly a Little Nightmares homage. But anyways, that game looks cool. Scott Pilgrim EX. This is just another pixel brawler. It's a sequel to Scott Pilgrim. And, it looks, like people are going to love this. People love Scott Pilgrim. People love this kind of fucking game. So it's got a pixel style to it. Like I said, I know the original game has so much love, and I've never played it. I don't know if you knew that, but the original Scott Pilgrim game, people fucking love it. So I don't know if it's going to match, what people are looking for, but nice that they're making another one.
Yeah, I think that this game looks really cool, especially if you're into these beat 'em up style games. Mm-hmm. But I don't have a whole lot to say otherwise.
All right, very good. Next up, Arc Raiders finally. Man, this trailer looked awesome when they first showed it. I forget where they first showed it, but this was finally a reveal for this game. This is another extraction shooter. It's slated to come out October 30th. It's a co-op extraction shooter. I think that the focus that people have now on this title is that it was, I believe, going to be a free-to-play game, and now they're moving to a paid format for it, so I think it's going to be like $30 or something. But I think that this may not have been the best move, because everywhere I looked online, people were just bitching about the release date, bitching that now they got to pay money for it. And the big question is going to be whether the community is going to be forgiving to let this thing get out of the gates or not. And if the video community is not going to be, it's hard to say what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of, when we found out that this was like a extraction shooter kind of game, I kind of zoned out on
Yeah.
it. But I remember it having that really cool like 70s sci-fi kind of art
Yeah, I
style,
love that.
which is really neat. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see if the price point really does make a difference. I have to imagine that if it's good, it won't matter because people will want to be part of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
But it is kind of weird if they said it was going to be free and now it's not. I mean, that could definitely be something that could anger some people for sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't get too worked up over it, though. If you're interested, you just go get it and support the game and see if, I don't know. I think that if a game just looks good enough, I think the people will come. And hopefully it plays good after they buy it. So anyways, next one. Onimusha, Way of the Sword. This was a reveal. This is going to be a reboot of the samurai action game. And, there's a demo that they showcased. And we did get a confirmation of release. I don't remember what the date was, though. But there was, the question: are they going to be able to revive this franchise? Are they going to be able to revive the franchise and make it feel good? I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, people are pretty excited about it because Onimusha is like a franchise that has been dormant for a long time. That was like kind of the progenitor of things like Ghost of Tsushima and stuff like that.
2026 is the window. Sorry.
Yeah, so I don't know. I remember there being a really cool sequence when we saw this game at, I think it was a State of Play or something like that, or maybe it wasn't the State of Play. Maybe it was Jeff Keighley's Game Awards or something. But there was a sequence where the guy like flipped up a table and then like kicked it into a bunch of
that was
enemies
this
that,
game.
Like, that,
All
like,
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that like looked super cool. So I'm interested in this game as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Especially with Ghost of Yote coming out this year, I'm wondering how this will follow it up.
It's a good question. Yeah, I mean, we're getting a resurgence of a lot of these.
But this is more supernatural. Ghost of Yote is going to be more realistic.
Yeah. All right, well, we're getting an October release, Jake, from the Shovel Knight team on a new game called Mina the Hollower. Or maybe it's Mina. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I think the fans of this kind of game, the Shovel Knight fans, kind of want that classic feel of Shovel Knight, but they're hoping for like some kind of new twist. So, how much more can you innovate on these kinds of games? And is an October release a good vibe for a good time to have like that Halloween vibe for this? Or is
I'm really
October
interested.
rough?
So Shovel Knight was like let's say like a Mega Man style like platforming kind of game, whereas this is more of like an isometric like Zelda style game. Mm-hmm. And I'm really interested in it for sure. Like I'm definitely gonna probably check this game out, assuming it doesn't come out and be a total flop.
Yeah.
But they've been working on this game forever, so I'm super curious as to how the final product is going to end up. But if it's of any quality like Shovel Knight, it's probably going to be excellent. So I'm excited about this one too.
Yeah, yeah. And then we got Jurassic World Evolution 3. We have the second one already, and you're just building a Jurassic Park, essentially. I could care less about it. It seems like people who want this game to be awesome are cautious about it because Evolution 2 had mixed reviews. And I'm not sure, how they're going to reignite interest in this kind of game. So I don't know. I don't think people are really interested in these park simulators at this point. But, Jake?
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, cool. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. We're going to get multi-franchise rosters in this. So we're getting people from Minecraft, Persona, Hatsune Miku's going to be in it. Cross-platform multiplayer game. This is a kart racer. And I'm curious to see how this goes. So I don't know. I mean, like, I know that most people either like Mario or they like Sonic, but I am fine with both of the franchises. Obviously, I think Mario's way better because it's fucking OG, but I am a Genesis dude, so I liked Sonic growing up. You know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't have a bone to pick with Sonic like I think some people get really like fucking shitty about Mario versus Sonic, but I think this could be a cool kart racer. I don't know. We need a good kart racer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this a game that I'm going to play? I'm not really sure.
I'm not going to play it.
My nephew, who's 6, is really into Mario Kart. So I'm curious if this is something he might be into.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's something that I'll play.
Yeah, very good. And then lastly, the last thing I'm going to talk about the Summer Games Fest, Marvel Cosmic Invasion DLC. Don't care about it. She-Hulk, Rocket...
It's another beat 'em up, right? It's another beat 'em up.
I think so. Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah.
They're jumping into the Marvel game. And there's, obviously the fans of Marvel shit are going to be just naturally into this. But I don't know. I don't care about it. So that's all I really have as far as Summer Games Fest. Jake, I think the big wins from Summer Games Fest is obviously Resident Evil Requiem, Atomic Heart 2. There's some other little ones, I think the Lies of P DLC people are excited about. We'll see about Hitman. Blighted looked good. Arc Raiders I'm interested in. End of Abyss. There's a lot of good fucking announcements.
To be clear, you keep saying Hitman. It's not Hitman. It's James Bond.
Sorry. I keep thinking Hitman. I even have it in the notes as Hitman. Yeah, James Bond.
I think it's just 007 First Light. But yeah, it's
hilarious.
But you're right.
Thanks for the correction.
And obviously there's Stranger Than Heaven too, which is cool.
Yeah, that looks cool as shit. And then Scott Pilgrim. I mean, what the fuck? You can't really go wrong. I thought it was good. I know that people thought that the Summer Games Fest was kind of lackluster, a little long in the tooth. Dude, it is what it is.
I don't know what people want, man. I mean, I thought everything that they showed at least looked interesting.
Yeah.
I other than maybe I don't really give a shit about Jurassic World or Sonic Racing all that much, but everything else looked at least interesting.
Yeah.
So
well, the big takeaway from this weekend, people were saying that the Xbox showcase just fucking ground pounded everybody. And we'll talk about these games real quick because they are coming to PlayStation. I'm not touching on everything, just the games that definitely we're going to get. Namely, if you've been on YouTube this weekend at all, you've seen this fucking trailer 15,000 times. But Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was revealed. They dropped a teaser. It's going to be set in 2035. And it's going to be interesting. I think people are excited about it.
I think it's the first time they're ever, since Call of Duty 3, it's the first time that they're ever doing a sub-franchise of Call of Duty back-to-back. Because the last one was Black Ops 6. Mm-hmm. So they're doing Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7. They're not going back to Modern Warfare.
Right,
they're not doing a Sledgehammer one or anything. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's whatever. It's Call of Duty.
Yeah. I do like that it's they're moving into a next-gen direction with it. So, so that's nice. Persona 4 Revival. This is an official remake or trailer that was announced during the Xbox showcase. And it was very short, but people are excited about it. And will this be worth picking up is the question. I don't know.
I mean, personally, from a story and narrative perspective, I liked Persona 4 more than Persona 5. Mm-hmm. But the drawback was that the dungeons weren't nearly as interesting in Persona 4 as 5. But Persona 4 was also a lot shorter than Persona 5, which is kind of nice. So, I don't know. I'm excited about this, and just as like to bring it to modern consoles, I think is kind of neat. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I want to watch this trailer again for this next one. Resonance. I can't even talk right now. I'm so tired. Resonance. A Plague Tale Legacy. So we had a Plague Tale Requiem, Innocence, Requiem, and now a Plague Tale Legacy. I'm all fucking in, dude. You never played the second one. It's fantastic. If you've never played the second one, it's so good. And I'm excited to see what they drum up with this third one. And it's going to come out in 2026, folks. So that's exciting. Cool.
The trailer, like, I'm skeptical about them subtitling it with the Plague Tale banner, because the trailer, like, if you just watched that trailer and you did not have that on there, you would have no fucking clue that this had anything to do with Plague Tale.
Really?
So I mean, but of course I didn't play the second game, so I don't know. But when I watch it, it's like a chick running through some ruins, and then there's like a burning town, and then there's like a big fucking demon character with some glowing ropes on it. And it's like, I don't know, and there's like a Roman arena. Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to know that this is part of the Plague Tale kind of thing. Now, maybe this is like way in the past. Kind of seems like maybe it is, because a Plague Tale Innocence and a Plague Tale.
Oh, it's a character from the second game. It's her backstory.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. There's a character in the second game named Sophia. And she's kind of like a pirate character. And she helps the two main characters of the first two games on their journey.
Interesting.
So this is kind of a spiraling. This is like a sub story of one of the characters you run into in the second game, which is actually a pretty cool idea.
Okay, so yeah, that's neat. I didn't play the second game, so obviously I have no context for this. But I just I watched it and I was like, this doesn't jive visually or thematically with anything that I played in the first game. So I was a little confused.
I'm kind of excited that they're so good with visuals in these games. I'm excited for once we don't have to worry about rats and then brag about how many rats they can fit on the screen. Like, can we just...
You don't know what they're going to do in this one, though. It might be like fucking snakes or something.
Dude, I hope not. I hope it's just like a good game. You know what I mean? Like, can we just focus on a game and not have this weird gimmicky enemy? But I do like those games, and I think Focus Entertainment's great. I think Focus makes it. But Mudang, Mudang, Two Hearts. It's a Korean future action with K-pop star and North Korean soldier storylines coming in 2026. I think people are generally just fucking curious.
It looks wild. The trailer for this game looks wild. So it's got really strange, like, Metal Gear / Resident Evil / Call of Duty kind of vibes to it. Like, it's very strange.
Yeah.
But it does look super interesting.
It looks cool, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It looks really nice. The graphics style, everything about it looks cool. There's like some stealth mechanics for sure. It's I don't know. It's interesting. It says on the YouTube video trailer, it says in the not too distant future, the divided nations of South and North Korea are on the verge of reunification. On the day when the historic bill was set to pass, a mystery terrorist group attacks the South Korean National Assembly, throwing the entire nation into chaos. Sent to uncover the truth, a North Korean soldier stumbles upon a K-pop star and is given a new mission: protect the girl who can unravel it all. It actually sounds fucking dope, dude. Those two fucking countries have been at war in real life for fucking ages. And I just love the idea that they're coming to a peaceable agreement, and then on the day it's supposed to seal the deal, like some terrorist thing attacks, and then you're a lone warrior.
And it's in the hands of a K-pop star.
Yeah, it's so fucking wild. All right, next up, Beast of Reincarnation. This is from the Xbox Showcase. This is a medieval-inspired action RPG. Of a character named Emma and her dog in the post-apocalypse. Is coming out in 2026. I don't know. This is coming from Game Freak, so apparently they don't have the best track record, so I don't think people are really excited for it.
So I have one statement to make about this game. I think visually it looks cool, but to me, in the first 5 seconds of this trailer, I was like, oh, this is either a Princess Mononoke game or they're just ripping this fucking concept off completely. Because, like, I don't know if have you ever seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
The Hayao Miyazaki film?
No.
So one of the very first things is it talks about, like, a corrupting element that is like corrupting these ancient beasts in nature. And like one of the sequences in the movie is this like giant elk creature that when it walks, its footsteps kill the grass, or no, its footsteps cause plants to bloom and then die. And that's literally shot for shot in this fucking trailer. So I'm like, is this, or like, are they just kind of calling this out? There's no way it's a coincidence. So that's like the first thing that kind of stuck out to me. But then it's like this post-apocalyptic shit, and there's like robots and crap in it. So I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I mean, I kind of hope that it's good because I'm interested in what it is, and it would kind of get me to want to play it. Mm-hmm. But if it's by the Pokemon studio, that's kind of interesting. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, apparently Game Freak does a really bad job of optimizing their games. And like, even though they're really pretty, half the time they don't run well. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. High on Life 2. There was a trailer that dropped for this. It's got a winter release. Fans are excited to return to the, this is a kind of a humor kind of game. You got crazy guns and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see.
I really enjoyed High on Life 1. I hated this trailer.
Really?
But I really enjoyed High on Life 1. It's by Squanch Games, created by the guy who did Rick and Morty. Mm-hmm. So it's got a lot of that humor in it. But really enjoyed it. I don't know. I'm interested. I definitely am curious about how it's gonna turn out.
It's a first-person shooter for those who don't know. Yeah. It looks interesting. The graphics look really nice, but I don't know. I've never played the first.
I think
one.
It's just CG shit. That's why I hated the trailer. Like it just looks super
too pretty. You know what I mean? Like
pre-rendered. Yeah,
that can't be the real game, but I mean it does look nice. Next up, Super Meat Boy 3D. So now we know Super Meat Boy did really well. The platformer now is jumping into 3D. It's going to be coming in early 2026. People are, again, cautious about this, but also interested. Sometimes these platformers in 3D form can feel a little fuzzy or weird. Like they're kind of hard to like navigate. They're not as easy to navigate in a game like Super Meat Boy where you have to be really good at it. Going into like the 3D, you know what I mean? It could fuck up the gameplay a little bit. So how do you balance that difficulty from the trademark game in that 3D space? I don't know. So we'll see. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean this like the start of this trailer that 3D Meat Boy is like super cute, but I think this game is going to be too hardcore for me. But I love the way it looks visually, but I think it just might be a little bit too much for me from a difficulty perspective.
Dude, the last game that I played that was really difficult, that was like it wasn't 3D, but just a platformer in general, was that was that Cyber Ninja game, and I loved it once I just agreed that I was going to get my ass handed to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's something about, there's like an addictive nature to these games that like you just keep trying. If it reloads fast enough, you know what I mean? Like that's the thing. If every time you die you gotta wait like even a second and a half, it's not. I can't. But if it's like you die, boom, you're there. Let's try it again. That's how they keep you. Anyways, I don't know how to pronounce this next one. I think it's a Phelion or a Phelion. It's a sci-fi adventure game, and I don't know much about it. 2026 release. It looks interesting. I think there's going to be some stealth mechanics to this game. What do you think? This is a partnership with ESA, I think, which I don't know what that is, but that's what I've read. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems interesting, but just like all these Don't Nod style games, it's like it's all down to the story. Is the story good? Then the game's good. If the story's bad, then the game's bad. Wow. And you can't really get that. You can't really get that from the trailer.
Yeah, and they did Bloom and Rage, right? Was that Don't Nod or no?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
All right, you move on. Excuse me for a sec. I gotta take care of my dog.
Yep, you're good. So yeah, I'm looking at this trailer. It just says it's a new sci-fi adventure game. Oh, it's European Space Agency is ESA. You'll be traveling across a hostile snowy planet in search of your lost crewmate. Interesting, because there's like a lot of mountain climbing and shit in here. I don't remember. Did Don't Nod make the lunar games? Or what were the games that Journey to Mars? Or what were the Mars games that Return to the Moon? Or what the fuck were they called?
Deliver Us Mars?
Yeah, was that Don't Nod? I don't think it was.
I actually don't know.
Who made Bloom and Rage? Don't Nod did Bloom and Rage. All right, yeah. All right, so I was right. Usually I'm not, so that's why I question myself. Anyways, the ESA is the European Space Agency, yeah. Next up, Invisible VS. This is a tag team 3v3 fighter set in the Invincible universe coming out in 2026. People are excited for a brutal superhero fighter like this, and can we balance the comic style versus the emotional impact of a violent game? I think so. I think it'll be cool. This looks neat. Do you remember seeing?
Yeah, it looks fun. Yeah. I have no comment on this one.
All right, let's keep going. Planet of Lena sequel. No details, man. Just a lot of storytelling, I guess.
People seem to really like the first one, but I never played it. I don't. It's like a platformy kind of narrative game, and I don't know. It's just it's cool. Like if you're into these indie style little artsy fartsy kind of maybe adjacent to like Inside and stuff like that, you might be really into this. But something that I never really tried out.
Yeah, The Blood of Dawnwalker.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Dark Fantasy RPG 2026. And it looks cool. It looks real cool.
Yeah, this trailer was a little bit underwhelming, but the original trailer for this game, I think it was at the Game Awards or something, was fucking sick. Yeah. So I'm because I think wasn't this like some of the, I don't know if it's some of the people that worked on The Witcher 3.
Yeah, Rebel Wolves.
Game.
Yeah.
But it's definitely got some vibes to it that I'm really interested in for sure.
Yeah, there are people from CD Projekt Red started a studio called Rebel Wolves, and they're teaming up with Bandai Namco for this, and it looks fucking cool as shit, dude.
Looks
it's like
great.
grimdark shit. I love it. Outer Worlds 2, Jake, confirmed for a release of October 29th, right around the bend. People are excited for the narrative of this game, And
did you play the first Outer Worlds?
No, I didn't.
It's really good. It's not, in my opinion, I didn't like it as much as like a Fallout or something. But Obsidian is a little bit more narrative focused, whereas the Fallout Bethesda stuff is a little bit more like gameplay focused. And I say gameplay meaning like, the RPG kind of immersive elements, not necessarily the shooting, because Fallout shooting is not that great. But this game looks really good. This is another one of those games where I know, obviously, that Outer Worlds is not a BioShock clone, but this trailer had a lot of elements that remind you of that style of game.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they had another game in their showcase that I don't think is on this list because we don't know if it's coming over yet, is Clockwork Revolution, I think is what it's called.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's got a very similar kind of jive to it. So, yeah, I'll say like that other game I was just mentioning, the Clockwork Revolution or whatever it's called, looks way more interesting to me, but I expect that this game is going to be very good. Although I didn't really care for Avowed all that much, so hopefully that's not an indication that Obsidian is slipping in this regard. But if they just follow the formula of the first game and maybe kind of pump it up a little with a new story, it's probably going to be great.
Yeah, probably. Indiana Jones Order of the Giants DLC. This is a good time to drop this DLC now that the game is available on PlayStation 5. It is coming out September 4th. And let me see here. It's not really a whole lot, dude, to talk about. You know what I mean? It's just DLC for the Indiana Jones game.
Yeah, I actually would maybe be interested in jumping back into this game to play this DLC, considering I still have Game Pass. Hopefully it's on Game Pass. If it's not, that would kind of stink. But if it is on Game Pass, I might jump back in because it's fun just to play for a little bit, do like the puzzles, be Indiana Jones. But yeah, that's cool.
I'll probably wait to play Indiana Jones now until this releases.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Ninja Gaiden 4, man, debut gameplay. The PS5 release is going to be presumably October 21st. We're not quite sure, but we can pretty much guess that that's probably what's going to happen. And, can the new stylized combat retain the old school Ninja Gaiden appeal? I don't know. And as far as Platinum being involved, what does that mean for brutal difficulty mode? I don't know. It's probably going to be a really fucking hard game.
It looks great, but I'm probably not going to play it because it's just... These games are just too hard.
I'm way more interested in Ragebound.
Yeah, for sure. Although that game's going to be probably punishing too. So...
yeah, you're right.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Gears of War Reloaded. There's a multiplayer beta coming soon, it said, but this is not Xbox-centric. We got some gameplay. The question is how is this going to resonate with PS5 audiences? Gears of War being notably an Xbox game finally coming our way. Is this cross-platform update on the radar for PlayStation gamers? I think certainly yes.
This game is great. It's really good. So I am excited for people who have only ever had a PlayStation to be able to try it out. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious what the enhancements look like running on a PlayStation.
Yeah.
That'll be kind of interesting. I'm definitely intrigued.
And this next one is one of the most obvious things, and I don't know why that this hasn't happened sooner. But Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4, there's a demo out now. And they are including Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because they fucking skateboard and they're awesome, which is the coolest thing ever.
That's funny.
That's going to hit all of the nostalgia of all of us guys who played Pro Skater growing up. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Are we going to maybe get I played some of these Tony Hawk games. Dude, I've tried to go back to them, not the recent remakes or anything, but I had an experience playing one of them recently. Someone had an old system set up somewhere. I don't remember where I did this. But I fucking played it, and it was so incredibly difficult to play. I was so bad at it. I remember being really good at it, and then being totally terrible at it now. So I don't know if the gameplay holds up over time, unfortunately. But these remakes are nice that they're doing them. I don't know if they're going to get a new fan base or not. But what do you think, Jake?
I'm curious. I mean, I probably played the most of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of curious, but I still have my original copy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. So I don't know that I really have that much of interest in buying this.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that, instead of playing it on my Steam Deck, I'd play it on my television. Mm-hmm. But yeah, these games are way harder than you remember, even though they're arcade games. Because I know we jumped into the 1 and 2 remake for one of the PS Plus games or something.
Oh, that's what it was then. That's where I played it, maybe.
And I remember it being pretty difficult.
It was really jank, dude. Just to be good. I mean,
it just played like old Tony Hawk, which is kind of what you expect.
Didn't feel good though. All right, lastly, Forza Horizon, or just Forza, I guess. It's a tease for 2026, and sounds like it's probably coming to PlayStation. So, will this return be? What is it going to be? And how's the cross-platform strategy going to work with PS5? I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the next Forza Horizon if they release it.
Well, or they didn't even say it was going to be Horizon, right? So it could be Motorsport. I don't know.
But they released Motorsport most recently. So it's entirely possible maybe that they're going to release Motorsport on PlayStation. But,
yeah,
I mean, what would be the point? Because Sony has Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
So it's been 4 years since Forza Horizon 5 came out. So it might be time for them to release a new Horizon game. And I maintain that Forza Horizon 5 is one of the most fun racing games I've played in a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's not as punishing as Gran Turismo.
And I think it's more arcadey. And from what I understand, it's selling very well on PlayStation as well. So I'll be curious to see if they do release a new Forza Horizon game, if they just day and date it on PlayStation. It'll be very curious.
We'll be curious, for sure. All right, let's jump into the state of play that happened. And we got some double ups. Anything we double up on, we're not talking about. We'll say that they talked about it. We're not going to talk about it. Dude, I would say the standout was this Marvel game, this Fighting Souls game. It's a 4v4 tag fighter by Guilty Gear developers. And it's announced by Arc System Works. And dude, people are fucking lit about this game.
It looks cool. I mean, I'm not going to play it, but it looks really cool.
It looks dope. And they did this really cool thing. This is how they concluded the state of play. They did this thing where they talked with the developers about how they had come up with something. And they were like, we kind of want you to do it your way, not how you think we want it to look. And they're like, okay. And then they fucking did it their style. And stylistically, this game looks fucking rad. Dude, if anything, it's like an anime fighter, but it's like all these Marvel characters. It looks fucking awesome.
I love that it had like all the Japanese dub on the Marvel characters. It was pretty
so fucking dope.
Pretty cool. Visually, like you said, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
But it's a trip. It's not something that I'm going to play, but it does look incredible.
It looks fucking awesome. Anyways, moving on. Next one, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. This is a remaster. So we're getting 2 modes, enhanced and classic modes for the PS5, PS4. It's coming out September 30th. There's going to be voiced dialogue, UI tweaks, HD visuals, and a bunch of quality of life features. As far as reactions, based on what I've seen online, the fan base are really excited, but they're kind of divided. A lot of people like the voice and the UI quality, and others are kind of criticizing the downscaling versus a true remake. So, dude, just fucking be thankful that you're getting this. That's my opinion. This is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's been the ability to play Final Fantasy Tactics on modern consoles. Like they did that PS1 port, and then they did or PS1 was the original, and then they did War of the Lions, that PSP port. And there's maybe a couple other versions, but this is the first like enhanced version for next gen. Yeah, it's a port. It's not like a full-on remake, but it's like a remaster, and I think it looks good. I mean, I don't know that you really want to change a game like this too much. This is like the seminal strategy RPG. So why fuck with it? Just kind of keep it how it is and make it look, give it a fresh coat of paint, and maybe add some voice acting or something to it, and call it a day.
It's gonna be just fine. We did get a look at the James Bond game First Light, so we're gonna bypass that. We already talked about that. We also, not what I expected. I expected way more, but we did get more Ghost of Yotei, but it was really weak. So I'm guessing
announcing another state of play. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing we're gonna get one in maybe in July, you know?
I think they said that.
Oh, did they?
It's gonna be basically it was just announcing a deep dive in July was all it was.
They did a deep dive for Ghost of Tsushima. Now the question is, is this gonna dethrone Ghost of Tsushima? I don't know.
I will say I had very little interest in playing Ghost of Tsushima until I saw that deep dive. So I will be curious to see how this game, if it gives me kind of a similar feeling or not.
Well, even if it's
I do think the game is interesting.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure. It looks great.
Yeah. This was a surprise. Neo 3. This is a new entry announced with a 2-week demo access from Team Ninja. People are really psyched about this game. I'm not gonna play this. I think Neo is like one of the fucking hardest games I've ever played. I couldn't even get past the first boss, so I'm not gonna play this.
I really enjoyed what I played, but when I couldn't beat the first boss, I was like, yeah, I'm out. This game just isn't for me.
Yeah.
So I'm with you there, but I'm excited for the people that are into it.
This Luminous Arise had very much Tetris Effect vibes. It's a stylized puzzle game, and it's coming out on PSVR 2 this fall. It has really cool immersive audio like Tetris Effect did, and I think everybody's really excited about it. I'm not worried at all about it being in VR. If it's anything like Tetris Effect, it's going to be fucking beautiful, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm all in on this. This game looks cool.
Because isn't it the same studio that did Tetris Effect?
I don't know, but it has to be. Because, I mean, I swear, I thought it was Tetris Effect 2 or something. I don't know if it's the same studio.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
What studio is it? What are they called?
Enhanced Games.
Okay. They fucking killed it. Tetris Effect was amazing.
Yeah.
So excited for that. We're getting Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. Collection spelled with a K, of course. This is an enhanced collection. There's some rollback netcode going on. There's archival interviews. It's one of these collections. I think they did a collection for, it might have even been Tetris. I don't remember what it was, but you could like go in. It was like an archival of the game's legacy, which is kind of cool. So what's cool with this is we're gonna get like weird versions of the game that a lot of people haven't played, like Game Boy Advance versions and stuff that have developer commentary. So that's kind of cool. Happy to see it. Anything on that, Jake?
Definitely. No, I mean I was really big into Mortal Kombat 2 and 3 on my SNES way back in the day.
Yeah.
So I do have a little bit of a legacy with these games, but since I kind of fell out on fighting games, I really haven't played a whole lot. So I probably won't pick this up, but I am definitely excited to see them being re-released. And I don't know, maybe nostalgia will grab me, and maybe I'll pick it up.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, Sony finally has a wireless fighting stick. I almost said flight stick. Jesus. So there's a new DualSense compatible fight stick has been announced. Works with PS5 and PC, and everybody is okay with this. Apparently it's going to have low latency and customization options. So, is it gonna be comparable to like the Tekken sticks and stuff? I have no idea, dude. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I was surprised to see this. And dude, I swear to God, I saw Flight Stick the first time I read it too. I was like, oh, that's weird that they're doing a flight stick.
A big fucking
console.
yoke for Aces over Thunder or some shit. Yeah.
But Fight Stick makes a lot more sense. And this is cool for the fighting game people, but obviously it's not for me.
Yeah, dude. This one's kind of cool. Romeo is a Dead Man. This is from the No More Heroes developer. It's like a hack and slash, it looks like. People are probably generally excited for this based on what I've seen. And I don't know. There's some stylism to this. I just love the title. I just like the title of it. I don't know anything about it. I just like the title.
Yeah, I think this game looks great. It gives me... Are you familiar with the anime Fooly Cooly? Or sometimes you see it as FLCL?
No.
So this game gives me that vibe a lot. Now, that could be because I don't really watch anime, so I'm not... Maybe it's kind of like a trope in anime, and it's not necessarily indicative of that one particular one. But this one, it looks really interesting for sure. I don't know what the hell is going on, but it looks awesome.
I think interesting is the way to put it best. Bloodstained: The Scarlet Engagement. This is a sequel, and it's going to be a 2026 release. It's an anime action game, and people are excited for this. Is it going to get Castlevania fans back on the horn? Probably. I bet you people are going to be really excited about this.
I mean, I played Ritual of the Night, which was the first one, and I really enjoyed it. This one is looking a little bit more polished. It's got like a little bit more art to it, rather than just being like a more simple sort of 3D, 2.5D environment. So it looks interesting. Am I gonna play it? I don't know. I mean, it depends on my mood, but this is another Metroidvania game, so I am kind of curious about like the dual protagonist kind of thing they've got going on here. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but I'm definitely interested in this.
Yeah, it looks awesome, dude. I think it looks dope. I love the art direction. It's clean, but it's also kind of grimy at the same time. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
All right, Thief Returns: Legacy of Shadow, PSVR 2 Thief game. I thought this was going to be an Assassin's Creed game when I was watching the trailer. It's going to be a stealth game set in the Thief universe. I'm surprised they're still doing anything Thief related. I don't think Thief has a lot of fucking tailwind. You know what I mean? I don't think it's got a lot pushing it. I don't know that stealth is... I mean, you would think conceptually stealth in a VR game would be awesome, but I just don't know if it does. Is it going to be immersive and work really well? Is it just going to be clunky and you get fucking caught all the time? I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know how it works because VR is inherently clunky. I mean, are you going to like reach for somebody's pocket and then you accidentally slap them? And then it's like, I don't know. It's very weird. I played that Thief game that came out around the launch of the PS4. And I remember it being good. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty decent. I don't know if they've released a Thief anything since then.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, I'm not going to dive back into Thief in VR unless we find out that this is like the best VR game on the planet. It just doesn't interest me.
Yeah, I'm not into it at all, if I'm being honest. I don't know anything about it. But anyways, Sea of Remnants. This is going to be a free-to-play RPG. Pirate-themed. Jake, you and I had an idea a long time ago about doing a pirate game, but not an RPG. We wanted to do a single-player, very story-driven pirate game, which we thought that would have been awesome. Like, grounded in, like, real piratry. But anyways, people are probably worried about monetization in a free-to-play game, as they should be. I don't know. I thought the overall art style and stuff looked kind of cool of this game, and it seems like they're approaching it with a little bit of humor, but I don't think this is for me.
Yeah, it's not. It's not for me either.
Cool.
It looks interesting, but it looks a little too not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Tides of Tomorrow. This is an asynchronous multiplayer story adventure set for 2026. A lot of people who are into indie games are kind of intrigued by the multiplayer promise, but I don't know. Is there going to be narrative cohesion on this with it being multiplayer? I have no idea. Tides of Tomorrow. What'd you think of what you saw?
I don't know that it really. It like visually looked interesting, but we didn't really see a whole lot about it. So that's the one.
It's
where
real colorful.
It's like narrative, and it's like you're kind of playing through a story, and you kind of see what other people have done, and you can kind of make choices based on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting concept. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like, it doesn't seem like it's a I'm playing directly with you kind of thing. It's more of a Death Stranding, like I walk up to this area and somebody left a ladder here, and I can decide whether or not I want to use it kind of thing. So I'm intrigued by this, I will say.
I like the colors.
Yeah, but this nothing about this trailer made me believe that. I don't know how much of this is real gameplay and how much of it is just CGI. So we'll have to see, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's an original idea, and I give him credit for that. Pragmata, finally, some more shit on this game. This is from Capcom. We got like a sci-fi trailer this time around. This game's coming out in 2026. They actually apologize at the end of the trailer, just saying we're sorry, because people have been fucking wondering what's going on with this game. Finally excited to see this long-delayed title in action a little bit. They're going to have to mime The Last of Us a little bit in this, I think, a little bit maybe. Did the trailer justify the prolonged wait? I don't know. Can cinematic storytelling, can it hold versus, a mature gameplay? I don't know. Capcom are great when it comes to Resident Evil and stuff. I mean, they can tell these stories, right? So, like, I'm curious about this. Like, the little girl's like an AI bot or something, I think. And it's just interesting. It's interesting.
I think it looks really cool, if I'm being honest with you. I can't wait to see more about this. Is it going to be the next best thing? I don't know. I mean, we heard about this game around when they announced the PS5. So it's been 5 years, and we've just barely gotten any information out of it. So it could come out and be a dumpster fire, but Capcom's been pretty good recently.
They have. So
I have reason to believe that this game is going to be great, and it looks cool. So I'm stoked about it.
Cool. Yeah, I think it looks good. Silent Hill F. It's coming out September 25th of this year. The Silent Hill remake had a shitty trailer, and everybody loved it. And I just don't know about this. You know what I mean? The trailer didn't do anything for me.
I think the enemies look really cool.
Okay.
But they're like the dolls that are like kind of moving all funny, and they like slashy weapon things. Like they look kind of interesting. But other than that, I'm just like, I don't really know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
It seems kind of interesting, but it's not something I'm jumping up and down to play. That's for sure.
Yeah. Digimon Story Stranger JRPG coming October 3rd. And Digimon fans are going to be happy about this, but I don't care about it.
You sounded like a real boomer there. Digimans.
You
got your Digimans.
What's a Digiman? What's a Digiman?
Yeah, I don't have anything to say about this.
All right. Baby Steps Walking Sim. This is like almost like a They're mocking Death Stranding in a way. It's just this walking sim where you just can't make bad steps, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of comedy involved in this. And I can see a game like this actually really picking up a lot of meme traction online.
Yeah, it's like Octodad vibes, or like that Human Fall Flat game, like shit Princess, like that, where it's just like shit, just like the humor is in the. It's like physical comedy, is what it is basically.
Yeah. They showed a part where you're trying to like use an outhouse, go to the bathroom, and it's just funny to think that you can fuck that up. Astrobot DLC and a DualSense controller. We had someone write in and ask us about this. I can't remember who it was, but I apologize. I think it was One Black Talon, maybe. We're getting more free challenge levels for Astrobot next month, so in July, and we're getting an Astrobot themed DualSense controller, and they say the controller is going to have a little bit of a twist. And One Black Talon asked if we thought that maybe the eyes on the controller will be wink like Astrobot when you're playing. That would be cool.
How can it even do that?
Well, when he showed it, it had the two eyes on the touchpad, and they looked like they were lit
I understand,
up.
but I didn't know, like, can the touchpad even be lit up like that?
Well, it's got
I've never seen the touchpad be able to be lit up in any kind of gradient or anything like that.
Well, I don't.
So how would they be able to do that?
Well, I think they might have different touchpads on this one.
Oh, maybe.
I'm not certain.
That'd be interesting.
There's speculation, maybe. I think that he's right. That it's probably what's going to happen.
Interesting.
That'd be kind of cool, dude.
It would be neat.
All right, next up, Mountaineering Adventure, Cairn. There's going to be a demo available in November, and it is a narrativeless adventure on the PS5. So I don't really know if this is going to be exciting. This is from the people who made Flower, I believe, and the people who made, what the fuck was the other game they did? Abzu. Thank you. I didn't have it in the notes. Yeah. Journey, correct. Yeah. So it's probably going to be good. Is it going to be mind-bending? I don't know. It'll be fine.
I don't know if I have any desire to like climb a mountain in a video game, but
I have no desire to climb one in real life.
It might be good. Yeah. It might be good.
Yeah. Sword of the Sea, Jake. August 19th debut. Ocean Exploration Journey. This looks cool, dude. Looks good.
Yeah, it's like Tony Hawk meets Journey. It's very weird.
Tony Hawk meets Journey. That should have been their tagline, dude. Tony Hawk meets Journey. It looks kind of cool. Hirogami platformer. Has Tearaway vibes. It's coming September 3rd. It's a papercraft style platforming. It's got some.
This looks cool. It's got really neat animations.
Yeah, right.
Like I'm curious to see how this game turns out, because every now and again I'm really down for like a 3D platformer. Like I was really into Astrobot, platinumed that. Mm-hmm. And I could see myself, like, if this is something that's executed really well, I could see myself getting into it just via the visual style alone. But it all obviously also has to play well.
It's got really cool style, man. I agree. Super cool style. And Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. July 31st is the release date on this bitch. So it's going to be cool, man. It's going to be tough, but it looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks incredible. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it other than the fact that I don't know if I forgot or I didn't know that there were two characters in Ragebound, but there are two characters, which is that you can play as. And I don't know if you switch back and forth between them or if you have to pick one or how that works,
yeah.
But it looks great.
Yeah. And then lastly, Pac-Man is making a cameo in Everybody's Golf. It's an interesting crossover.
Yeah.
It's just fucking weird, but I appreciate crossovers when there's humor involved like this. I dig that. It's fun. You can't take yourself too seriously. So,
dude, I love Hot Shots Golf, and I guess Everybody's Golf is the same thing. Mm-hmm. And so I depending on when this game releases and what comes out around it, I could see myself playing this for sure. Because I really did enjoy the last one that was just called Everybody's Golf on PS4, I think it was.
That was a good game, dude. Well, that wraps up the 3 showcases. Which one did you like the best, Jake? Which one do you think had the most to offer?
I would say that if you want to go just like back-to-back bangers, the Xbox Showcase probably was the best. And then it's probably for second place. It's probably a toss-up between the State of Play and Jeff Keighley's thing, just because I think they both had some highs and some lows. But I agree with, I think the most of the sentiment online is that the Xbox Showcase, just back to front, I think provided the most excitement, I think.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'll go back and rewatch some of these trailers. I had a busy weekend, so I didn't get to catch everything. So if we missed something you want us to talk on, write into psisawesome@gmail.com.
The one thing that we didn't touch on that I wanted to just bring up real quick is that Mouse PI for Hire game looks fucking awesome. I don't know why we didn't talk about this. It's the one that looks like the...
Is it coming to PlayStation?
I don't know if it is or not, but it's the one that... Yeah, it is. It's the one that looks like early, like black and white.
Oh yeah, by the makers of
Disney, but it's like it's like first person shooter.
It's the makers of that fucking game that came out on Switch or whatever, and Xbox. That real hard game, the old school cartoon style.
You're talking about Cuphead?
Yeah, isn't it the makers of Cuphead?
I don't know if Cuphead made it, or if those guys are involved or not, or if it's just kind of because
Cuphead
it's a similar style.
I'll cup your head.
I don't think they did Cuphead.
Wait a second.
I don't think they did Cuphead. So, but I think this game looks really cool. So I'm really intrigued by it.
Yeah, it does look cool. Thanks for bringing that up. So if there's anything else the listeners want us to talk about, bring it up. We'll catch it on the back end of episode 382. Real quick, jump in. We're going to dump in the new games this week. And then we're the hell out of here. It's getting late. It's Monday night. New games this week. June 10th, Alien Hominid HD. Alien Hominid Invasion, June 10th. Mind's Eye. Nobody knows what to expect with this game. I think we all have an idea.
We have heard nothing. I'm guessing it's probably bad since we haven't heard anything, but I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
But here's the idea. I'll read this synopsis real quick. This was from Push Square. Plays Jacob Diaz, a former elite soldier fitted with the Mind's Eye, a mysterious neural implant that haunts him with fragmented memories of a covert mission that changed his life forever. Fight to uncover the truth in a world where AI, high-tech experimentation, and unchecked military power shape every encounter. Jacob isn't the only one searching for answers. Forces working from the shadows may be more powerful and dangerous than he ever imagined. Get ready for intense combat on foot, behind the wheel, and in the air, where every decision can mean the difference between survival and defeat. Star Trucker, June 10th. Keeper's Toll, June 11th. Memory Lost, June 12th. Wizard of Legend 2, June 12th. Zombie Army VR, June 12th. And The Alters, June 13th, which is a sci-fi survival game. So, that's all I got. Jake, can we just call it a frickin' night? That was a lot. We talked about all 3 showcases. Yeah. I think our listeners should be very pleased with this podcast. We put some legwork in. We did the dance.
Yeah, that was a long one. If anybody obviously wants any more context or feedback from us on any particular game individually, let us know. But we had I don't know, fucking 50 games to cover. So
yeah,
it took a while.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jake, for your time today. I'll thank myself for my time today. You guys have a good evening. That's it. We're donezo for the evening. Have a good week. We'll catch you on 382 next week. Like Lies of P, Life is Strange, and Luminous. P.S.
Yes.
This is awesome.
This is awesome.